But I think what's good about the action learning is that there's a structure and a process that you go through so that people really listen to you and then come back with questions and then solutions. And you actually leave after an hour and a half with some very specific things to do. Actually, but if you go in thinking, you know what, I don't know, and I'm going to lay it bare and I'm going to wait for these people to come back to me and ask me more questions, which again enables you to dig a bit deeper. And often the way they ask you the questions is you haven't thought of that way of, you haven't thought about it that way. So then you answer in a different way. And then the way you then come back with a solution, and you leave with something concrete rather than just having talked around an issue, but you come away with some specific objectives. I think for me the key learning is that everybody can contribute, everybody in a company can contribute some ideas. The issue that I brought to the table, everybody had something incredibly valuable to contribute. And actually, because they are from different fields and they are different individuals, what they come with is unique. And so it's an incredible learning opportunity. Action learning's benefited my business because I leave every meeting with some very specific things I need to do and implement and think about. And actually, I think with action learning as well is you're pinned down to a time scale. So it's not, oh yes, I'm going to think about X and Y, but it's I'm going to think about X and Y and I'm going to do it next Tuesday. Or I'm going to a meeting and we're going to discuss this issue on Wednesday. So you leave with some very clear objectives, but you also leave with a time frame. And because the meetings are regular, it gives you a structure and a time frame within which you can implement those things that you've left the meeting with. I think by having a facilitator there, and particularly with Will, who's facilitated it, is he gently guides you and directs you, but it's very subtle. And also he keeps quite a tight control and quite a good structure so that we all listen and speak in equal measure. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And I think the way Will was directing the session that, for example, I've just had, was very much that everybody really listened, and because of the structure you've got to allow it to flow. So you don't, sometimes when you talk to somebody they'll offer you a solution even before you've told them the problem. What happens here is you're given ample opportunity to put the solution, to put the problem, then you're asked questions, so then that brings out more issues around the problem, and then come some of the ideas and the solutions. So you're given enough time to actually put it out on the table without people butting in and almost giving you answers before you've been allowed to actually get it all out there. Will is a brilliant facilitator for 2 reasons. First of all, he is incredibly professional, but I think with that what Will brings is an insight. And that's quite rare in somebody professional, that you've got somebody who is just top class, incredibly presentable, incredibly intelligent and bright, and yet he comes with an intuition which is second to none. So you sit in a session with Will and you know absolutely that he is going to get right to the nub. And he might sit there quietly for half an hour and say very little, but when he says something, it's spot on. And so he brings an intelligence and an intuition, which is often a rare combination. My advice to anybody thinking about action learning with Changing Post is do it. Absolutely, no doubt, because there's no way that if you attend a session or a group of sessions that you're not going to leave empty-handed. You will leave with inspiration, you will leave buoyed up, supported, with objectives and a timeline, and it's just a win-win all round. And I think also everybody benefits. So it's not only you leave as the client having been given some incredible advice, and with some specifics to implement. But everybody around the table also gains incredible insight for themselves, and I have no doubt leave as well with 1 or 2 action points.